What's up, everybody? It's your old pal Taint Peter, and I'm back again with another 5-ish minute video game review. Today we're going to be talking about a 2023 first-person shooter called RoboCop Rogue City. I just finished playing this, and boy, do I have a lot of thoughts, so let's jump right in. Okay, so look, RoboCop, this is an interesting thing to make a game about. This is a 1980s action movie. I remember it from when I was a kid in the 90s. It was still cool. You know, in the early 90s, I had like a RoboCop toy. So I have a little bit of affinity for this. So I thought maybe this will be a fun game. Look, it drops you immediately into a very authentic replication of the RoboCop movie. I actually went back and watched the movie just to refamiliarize myself with it, and then playing the game, you're like, wow, these are exactly the same sets, right? It's the same police station. They got a lot of the same actors to come do voices for this, including Peter Weller, right? The guy who played RoboCop in the original films. He does the voice of RoboCop here, so I'd say they have a very authentic you know, version of a RoboCop media piece here in this game. It feels like it is canon. Moving on from there, how does the game actually play? What do you actually do? Well, it's interesting. There is some seriously good action in this game. The shooting and the moving feels so good. Like the RoboCop walk, right? You don't crouch, you don't run, you don't jump. You are a big lumbering hunk of fucking metal, and you feel like it when you move around the game. You're like doof, doof, doof with your footfalls, and the guns don't really have recoil, right? Because you have a big metal arm. So you're just basically getting this feeling of mowing people down, which sounds kind of fucked up, but look, it's a video game. That's what you're supposed to do. The gun variety, I'd say, is a little bit lacking. There's just a couple, really. It's like shotgun, assault rifle, Uzi, machine gun, and then RoboCop's sidearm, his Auto 9, right? Which is like his famous huge pistol from the movie. That's here. It sounds just like the pistol in the movie, which has a really cool sound to it. So there's a lot of stuff going in RoboCop's favor here. As far as like the action goes, it's extremely violent, just like the original movie. There's a lot of dismemberment. You can blow people's limbs off. You can cut them in half with a gun. It's gory as hell, which is, again, keeping true to the franchise's promise to be violent as all fuck. So you gotta love that. Mission variety, it's pretty much like a shooting gallery every time. You just kind of like lumber through these different areas and enemies pop out at you and you shoot them. You can level up some basic skills for RoboCop, his vitality, his armor. You can give his gun more power. And then there's some stuff that didn't matter as much to me, like, you know, you can level up your ability to sort of talk to people and influence them. But let's be real, I'm RoboCop. I don't really get off on the, you know, dialogue manipulating people. I'm a fucking killing machine, so I didn't put a lot of points into that. Where does this game sort of veer off the tracks for me? Because I do have some serious notes. So as fun as the action sequences are in RoboCop, in between them is a lot of really tedious storytelling that, for me personally, I did not enjoy it very much. There's side quests, for example, where you're sort of like giving people parking tickets, or, you know, like a mother is worried that her son is out too late, so you have to go find this kid and tell him to go home. So in other words, you're sort of just doing these really mundane street cop type things that are not like action oriented, right? And I guess if you really wanted to role play as RoboCop, who was sort of a beat cop, you might be doing things like getting cats out of trees or dealing with a broken fire hydrant. But when you buy the RoboCop game, that's not really what you want to be doing. You want to be in the shit, shooting bad guys, enforcing the law. And so they give you that, but then they also sprinkle in this other shit that just felt really superfluous. And I found myself again and again in between these big action missions just getting frustrated and bored with all this dialogue that I had to do with these NPCs, where like I'm fixing things around the police station, right? I'm chasing down stupid like petty crimes in the streets of New York. I found that frustrating. I think for some people who might want to really roleplay RoboCop, they might enjoy it. But for me, and this is my review, I hated it. So to me, honestly, it took away from the overall grandeur of the gunplay, because it just felt like I had to get through the slog of shit to get back to the fun stuff. So I have to take points away for that. What else? The graphics are pretty normal, I'd say. Like, you know, they look good. They don't look like anything mind-blowing. You know, if you've played video games in the last 5 years, you're familiar with these graphics. They did a good job of rendering a little bit of downtown Detroit, you know, a couple square blocks. Look, they don't have a huge budget. You could tell that they just decided to make this little part of Detroit and cram it full of weird side missions, and that was a choice. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like, wow, I'm kind of sick of running around the same, 3-block area doing all these missions. But hey, that's what you get when you buy AA titles. It's to be expected. So overall, how do I feel about this game? I feel like it went on too long for me, which is weird because a lot of people on Steam said, hey, this game does not overstay its welcome. It's the perfect length. Some people were saying they beat it in 10 hours. It took me 20, and I'm wondering maybe I just went down too many side quest rabbit holes or something like that. But I was trying to get this game to end for the last couple hours, and it just kept going on. So for me, I actually feel like it overstayed its welcome a little bit. I wish this was a 10-hour game from my experience, but it wasn't, which sucks. I think, again, what dragged it down was these boring side missions and a lot of chatter in the story that just, RoboCop doesn't need all of that, in my opinion. So final verdict here, given all that, I had a hard time deciding because this game clearly had a lot of love put into it by the developers. It's extremely faithful to the source material, and what it does well, it does really well. Like, the highs are high, the lows are low. That's the best way I can put this game. So with all that taken into account, my final verdict is a 7 out of 10. Which is like giving something a C, right? It's not excellent, it's not a failing grade, it is like straight up middle of the road. I enjoyed the game. I have no interest in playing it again. If you really love RoboCop or you're interested in some fun gunplay, I would say try this out. If you're looking for a great story or something that's going to blow your mind and invent a new genre of gaming, this is not going to be that game. Okay? I thought it was a perfect 7 out of 10. So good job to the devs. I think it could use some smoothing out, but it is what it is. And that, there, my friends, are my thoughts on RoboCop Rogue City. Check it out if you want to. Otherwise, I'd say you're probably fair to skip this one. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out my channel where there is tons more bullshit just like this.